Hey everybody, Alex Paiz with Urban Nest Realty. Today I'm going to do a quick market update for Portland. What's going on? If you're a buyer, it's wild out there. And if you're a seller, it's a feeding frenzy. So record-breaking prices, multiple offers, waived inspections. It's a great time to sell, but there's a few things you might not have thought of, so stay tuned. So the first thing you should know about the Portland real estate market is that it's hot like Dogecoin. It is very, very competitive right now. There's super low inventory. It's actually the lowest inventory we've seen pretty much ever. The only other time was in December of 2020, so just a few months ago, where we've seen inventory this low. And basically what this means is that there's not a lot of houses to choose from. And if we kept selling houses at the rate we were selling houses and no new houses came on the market, we'd run out of houses to sell in less than a month. And so in a healthy market, you'd see, maybe 6 months inventory. Right now, it's 0.8, so less than 1. And that is pretty wild. You don't like to see that if you're a buyer because you don't have a lot of selection. However, if you're a seller, that's pretty good news. More people are going to be looking at your house. You're going to get a better price for your house. You're going to get better terms for your house, generally speaking. And for the most part, it'll probably sell faster because you got so many more people looking at it. In my weekly office meeting today, we had 12 agents tell us about offers they had recently wrote for their clients. And of those 12 agents, the average that they offered over asking price was $60,000. Which is pretty wild. And then it gets crazier when you find out that not all of those people got their offers accepted because there were even better offers on the table. So another thing to note along with these crazy over asking price bidding wars is that since March of 2020 to March of 2021, prices have increased 14.5%, which is, let me put that in perspective for you. On a $500,000 house, that's a Tesla Model S. Right? $75,000 just about. And that's no small chunk of change. It's definitely a lot to take in. So if you bought a house last year, great job. That's a lot of appreciation for you. If you are thinking about selling right now, it is obviously a great time to sell. However, there is one thing I want you to think about before you do sell, and that is where are you going to go? So have a plan. I don't want you to get stuck in a sticky situation where you don't have anywhere to go because you sold your house for this great price, and then you go somewhere else and you have the same dilemma that all my other buyers here in Portland are having, where it's very competitive, everything's selling super fast and for a really high price. And so have a plan. That's all I'm going to tell you. Now, I know all of this sounds pretty terrible if you're a buyer looking for a house in this market, but I don't want you to lose hope. Here's a few of my suggestions to help you so you don't have to pay through the roof for a house right now. One thing I do is look at houses that have been on the market longer than a week. Typically these homes, there might be some TLC that needs to go into them, but you might be able to get a better price and might be less competition on them. The next thing I would say is be flexible about where you want to live in the city. So maybe you wanted to live downtown, you expand that search radius a little, southwest, northwest, be flexible. Next, I'd say tailor the terms of your offer to what the seller wants. So have your real estate agent actually ask the other agent what their seller wants from this offer. Do they want a rent back period, for example, or do they just want a quick close? Being in good communication with the other agent and figuring out what the seller wants is important to getting your offer accepted. Another tip is to look for properties that have come back on the market. So these properties accepted an offer and for some reason they've fallen out of contract, they come back on the market, and at this point it's a good opportunity for someone else to swoop in and get it for at asking price or maybe below asking price in some cases. And finally, I'd say don't be afraid to be the backup offer. I've had a few of my clients have huge success being the backup offer. For whatever reason, the first offer fell out and they were able to get the home of their dreams because of it. So don't be afraid of that. So be patient, hang in there, and that applies to my advice for my multifamily investors as well. We're seeing a lot of deals come on the market that just aren't going to pencil out, and it's frustrating, I know. A lot of these cap rates are pretty low. We're seeing around 4.5% to 5.5%. The 5.5% are always a little optimistic, I'm going to be honest with you. Those broker pro formas are a little notorious for that. So be careful when you're underwriting. Make sure you're doing your due diligence there. Make sure you actually got a deal that's going to meet your return goals. If you're selling multifamily in the Portland area, there's still good demand for it. Nice, healthy market. You're seeing a lot of people with capital that they want to place and they want to put it in multifamily because it's proven resilient despite the COVID pandemic. And one thing to note is that if you want to sell it quickly, you might want to leave a little meat on the bones for the next investor. And if you're not too worried about your timeline, you could probably sell it for more than you typically get for it if it wasn't such a seller's market right now. All that said, if you're buying or selling in Portland and you still need a great real estate agent, I'd appreciate it if you give me a call, especially if this video was helpful. You can leave a like, you can follow below on Facebook or YouTube. Either one, see these videos. I post monthly and look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day, everyone.